say that this is the land of the free. Where freedom is whatever a man chooses it to be. And so is the law. Wesley Hardin, Billy the Kid, Jesse James. They all made their choice, and I've made mine. It's time to settle up.
Povídačky. To nekecám, fakt?
Nevím proč, ale vždycky, když vidím tady tou dolí, tak mi to připomene Skyrim. Halo amigos, Turik, vítám vás v druhé části z Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Tak se do toho pustíme.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. But first I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious. Get ready, boys. Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise, and after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clintons wanted revenge.
Tamhle, to já ti netrefil, jsem tě netrefil?
So they murdered
Stříváš ty
Morgan
vole.
Earp and grievously wounded his older brother Virgil.
Ty vole, nehýbej se, já ti chci jenom trefit hlavu. Tamhle dáš
Wyatt and Doc
hlava.
went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down.
Toto furt všichni prcháte,
So
tyjo.
when I showed up,
Já vás chci jenom pozdravit revolverem nebo puškou. Já vás lovím jako bizony, ty vole. Ty vole, já jste F-ko mačkal, kurva. Tak znovu. Další. Tak dobrý. Další. No, ukaž se, vykoukni debilku. Dobrý. Roulou kratší. Já jsem je dobře vystřílel teďka. Nějak pomalu to dostávám.
there were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the Cowboys identified each other. I was beginning to wish I had one myself.
Zabij, sila si. Kurva, odkud ty vole, já jsem byl skrytej, ty vole. Fakt tady ty instakily mě zabijou jednou. Jeden. Já jsem levej. Další. Ještě jeden, tak dobrý. A oni jsou tam nazadu.
But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Au. Všichni jsou mrtví. Po nich. Tady si dám tohle, tady quick savey nefungujou určitě, to je tady to nová hra, ty vole. 2013 myslím, když quick savey nebyly normální.
Herb wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That Lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never
Možná
charged
skoro
anyone
napadl
for
to.
the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Well, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Tudy.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Víš, že jsi prozradil, když jsi to nadával, ty vole, já určitě nechci všimaj, jinak bys mě zabil, vole.
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
To dobře se schováváte, opravdu. Nabij. Ukaž, vykoukni. Ty vole! Nevyšel jsem takhle vykouknout, vyšel jsem jenom vykouknout hlavou. Jeden. Dobrý. Po nich, ty vole, tak nenávidím tady ty štíďaře. Ale hezký design vody. Běžíme tudy má.
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. It was this beautiful waterfall, a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand. Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
A už tady kurly byly.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Time to dance with the devil. You working for Wyatt Earp? Did that sumbitch Earp send you to kill me?
Fuck. Kurwa, ten tady byl tady ten debil. Nevidím nikde. Nikdo? Já budu první, vole. Vole. Ještě jeden zásah, pojď. Dobrý, je po něm.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
A už je tu. Schytání kulky Johnny Ringo.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Doc Holliday je nic oproti Silasovi přece. Tady ty duely jsou vážně výborný. Lepší než v předešlých dílech.
Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Tak pokračujeme dále.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him. As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men. Samuel Colt made them equal.
To taky nebylo, vole. Jak se to vždycky přeruší za animace.
It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in 48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches.
Kurva, co to je?
There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith.
Dobrý. Ještě někdo? Taký parchant, vole.
James, who worked in the stable.
Nebo už ne.
Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Tetum.
Jo, no,
Plummer had a lot of men on
zdáš mají oni.
That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public
Mají
with one
čepice
hand
z jihu,
while
ty vole.
stealing them blind with the other. I thought I was some kind of hero.
Nebý to, to je. No, ale
I
fakt hezký
finally made
dolík.
it past and headed on to
Klidně
meet
bych
my
se
destiny.
celý koupil a vytěžil zlato. Teda ne já.
But
samozřejmě.
first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
To je tam nahoře, už nejsi.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around.
Ještě tady louč a tady normální petrolejka, ty
And
vole.
that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
Kudy má jít před tam, kde bude animací, že jo? No přece rozum.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
Ještě někdo?
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked.
Dobře.
I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
A do píči.
With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, the body has to know what he's shooting at. All it takes is one tiny spark, and boom.
Dobrý.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
Netrefil. A do píči. Běž si lasy.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just
To rozpadá.
but clearly insane. It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
No to potom.
Instead, I spotted a ladder,
Vždycky.
a way into the mine from the opposite side.
Takže jdeme po žebříku dolů. Si lasy.
It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time.
Jo, kolik ti žebříku je dolů.
Being I had a problem with
Nerad lezím
heights,
dolů.
that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that
Další
ladder
žebřík.
required
Jak
some
si
caution,
prdel, protože tam nedal výtah, vole.
because even though I had a younger man's reflexes,
Tady
no
je
man
tam,
can
to je
dodge a
výtah,
damn
no.
bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith.
Oh shit.
I was determined not to give up.
Dobře si asi aspoň se schytil.
As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character.
No to je hezký.
When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was
Ten
up
do
to,
hlavy,
people were outraged.
další do hlavy.
10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score no hell or high water.
Odešel do nebe. Ne, do nebe, do pekla.
But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the
Okay.
elevator or climb the ladder.
Víte, mi to lepší.
I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route.
Mnohem nebezpečnější. To tam dva nemáci. A už oba dva mají kulku mezi očima, ty vole.
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserve better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was a sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there.
Teďka dolů.
The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Ukaž se. Co zapalujete? Epic fight.
Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
Jsem nevšimnul, že je tam furt. Jestli tam ne. Dobrý. Tak první stádium jsem zničil. Ukažte se, boys. Ještě nějaký boj? Tenhle boj. Tady boj není. Jak už tady bude Henry Plummer zase. Ty vole, já jsem se moc koukal ty dynamity místo toho, abych dal pozor na něj. Ty vole. Kde jsi, vole? Ukaž se. Tě nevidím, tam jsi. Ten. Dobrá hlava. Ukaž se, kde jsi? Nevidím. Hajzl, mám mě zabil tam. Mám mě zabil jeho, no, moc leh, ty vole. Teď nahrá na srdče. Dobrý, jde po něm.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold.
Ty vole.
And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Jdeme dále. Jdeme dále.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Pokračujeme. Rychlý nebo mrtvý? To je dobrý název.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Vole. Ještě někdo? Ukažte si, kdo co ty vole tam je.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hard.
Yeah,
Texas
that's
Ranger.
what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and... Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer.
Okay.
By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted villains. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them. They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends.
Ty vole,
Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the bull's head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their Hefe of my unwelcome presence. I wondered if Bob was among them.
Pán mrtvý. Ještě někdo chce okusku mojí medicínu? Stále to bude chtět. Už je okusil. Ty vole, já jsem pomalej střelec. Jsem ho pomalu zaměřil.
Better 3 hours early than a minute too late.
Shoot that son of a bitch!
Most of them were wanted as well.
Jsem mrtvý. Kde jste kdo? Haló? Ty kolo, jsi zapíkanej, vole? Taky? Hledáme napíkanou. Aha, ty jsi mě chtěl zapíkat, OK? A jsi zapíkanej. Tak taky. No to proti mě Silasovi. Já se chci jenom kamarádit. Sice vy to asi nepřežijete, ale chci s vámi jenom kamarádit. Protože se jmenuji Silas.
But I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption. John Wesley might have been a different story.
A to je to obtížnost.
I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Dobrý, hlava. No, to byla úlomek pravdy. Nic dobře pamatuju, ale ty mám všechny, takže ty nemůžu sbírat. Myslím, že po
I
nich,
think I
jako
already
všech.
mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Ty vole. Tak ještě jednou. Vejdu sem. A jdu za bar. No, kde jste kdo? Ty vole, já je prostě nevidím, kurva. Jak jste tam nahoře, jak nejsou vidět vůbec. Prostě toho nevidím. Když jsem chtěl zasáhnout, tak ho nezasáhnu. Děláš si ze mě píču, ale... Kokotina. Já jsem měl nabitý kvéčka, nemohl jsem ho použít, vole. Ty vole, vždyť jsem na něj střílel, kurva, jemu to nic nedělalo. Tam, druhý, třetí, čtvrtý. Oni mají zlovu. Co to kurva bylo? Co to do píči bylo, vole? Dělal jsem, že po něj hodil nůž, vole. Jo, protože si to dal na tu nejtěžší obtížnost. Jsem mu to rád jednou na tu nejtěžší obtížnost, vole. Ne, já jsem prostě Ricky, vole, já si to prostě vždycky dám na tu nejtěžší obtížnost, vždycky, vole. A pak se divím, že na to furt nedávám, vole. To je po všech. Ty vole, odkud? Někdo, vole? Nikdo není. Tamhle dole.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Oh shit, dude.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him. That man was faster than greased lightning, but being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben? Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation. A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
Dávno nahoře, daleko vzdálené.
Grey Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who would led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
No nic, tak to asi je pro tento díl všechno. Jako vždycky nezapomeňte zanechat like, odběr a nějaký nasraný komentář a adios.